All right, we're gonna see if this works out a little bit. I had to download an extension right before stream because I felt like Google Docs is a little bit bright for my liking. So I found a dark mode extension, and we've got that now. So that's great. Also, my mic is struggling here. It's actually being held up by a little bit of tension in the cord. So we're gonna adjust that a little bit there. How's it going, everybody? Good to see you all. We are here live, just gonna discuss some King SMP stuff because I had an idea the other night, um, about like everything. Like it was just like a sudden revelation of like, oh shoot, I feel like I've been neglecting this unintentionally. So hello CC, congrats on getting first. Hello Nuggy, go do what you gotta do. Um, whatever you feel like you need to do. Uh, sorry that you've been that you're mentally low, CC, but I'm glad that you're still here. Um, I'm concerned that stream notification was like an apology video. I stopped Titanfall to be here. You know, I kind of figured that might be a thing that happens. It did cross my mind. Um, but also I didn't care. So, you fell for my trap. Ha ha ha. Um, but what we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna kind of talk a little bit about King SMP, what I really, really need to do with it, and maybe talk a little bit about. I hear voices. Okay, hang on. Who's speaking? Let me mute that. Okay, there we go. Just missing a friend. Ah, I see. I see. I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Um, we still talk, but I haven't hang out. Well, I'm glad that they're not dead. I'm glad that they're not dead. I hear voices. I hope I wasn't the only one hearing those voices. I did mute a tab that I think was the voice. But I don't know. Uh, Before we get into King SMP planning session, I just want to say, guys, I I don't know if I told you guys about it the other night, but I have a spider bite on my back again, and it sucks. It sucks so bad. Like it's just in the worst spot. Like if I raise my arm, I feel it. If I move my arm to stretch, I feel it. I try to like even poke it just a little bit. Pain. So much pain. And last night, I get paranoid a little bit. This is a serious problem that I need to get into the habit of not doing. But I'd look up things after I get any amount of slightly ill. Um, and so I was like, okay, well, what kind of spider bite is it? So I kind of looked at it. I was like, okay, it looks like every other spider bite I've gotten. So then I started doing some research on what spider bites look like and symptoms that go along with it. Because I was feeling I had some muscle spasms, a little bit of a cramp in my foot, probably unrelated, honestly. But I started looking it up and I'm like, oh, this could have been like a Black Widow. This is like the exact look of a Black Widow bite, except for the fact that there's like no necrosis. I mean, I'm glad that there's none of that. But then I was like, but don't you typically die from a Black Widow bite? The answer is no, no, you do not. Unless you're young or old or just very frail, you can pretty well live it. And I doubt that's what I got bit by, but I haven't been able to find said spiders. But this one like hurts more than like the other spider bites that I had, which I could pretty well all but confirm that they were wolf spiders in that case because I have wolf spiders in the house. But I haven't been able to find these spiders this time around. So, I mean, don't be surprised if one day I just start streaming from a hospital. I'm like, hey guys, I found out what spider bit me. No, it's funny, but I don't think I actually got bit by one of the really bad ones. But yeah, I got bit. It's a pain to sleep. It's a pain to live. And it's probably a pain to die too, so we're not gonna go with that option either. Is there like a dark mode? Yeah, I'm gonna hide this because I don't want it to like flash you guys with like a really bright light. Is there like like an even better? Is there like an even better way to like turn it even darker? Okay, this is better. This is better. Okay, I'm gonna turn it back on. It shouldn't be as bad. Me and my migraine appreciated that. Alright, here we go. How's that? I feel like that's a little bit better. White on black isn't necessarily the worst, so much better. Okay. I like this. I can get used to this. I could definitely get used to this. Spider, nope, nope, nope. Dear Lord, where's my flamethrower? Sounds like me and my anxiety. I'm terrified of spiders. I do not like them either. I don't mind killing them. I've gotten to the point now where I have to basically live with them until the stink bug season is over. I hate stink bugs more because they smell bad and they're clumsy. Whereas with spiders, they at least won't get in my bed for a couple of days, especially if they have something much better to eat. And so I found that it's just better to kind of let them live for a little bit until the stink bugs are all taken care of. Once it's like frozen outside and I know I can, take care of everything in here, I'm going to go through every single room in my house and absolutely murder every single spider. We're talking mass genocide kind of stuff here. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be really beautiful, honestly. Um, I'm not bothered by stink bugs. I used to catch them. Spiders, on the other hand, I've literally drop kicked my laptop because of a spider before. See, weirdly enough, like spiders, I'm kind of just comfortable with. Um, is that Google Docs UI new or just for your browser? What? I found an extension that gave us dark mode, and so I really hate having the really bright lights in my face because it reflects off my glasses, makes me washed out and all that. So you actually can see my real face for a minute, guys. Like this is, I'm actually a little less red than this, weirdly enough. But I'm finally showing up a little bit better in color on camera, so I'll take that. But I figured a dark mode would be good. I know, CC, you mentioned that bright lights give you intensify your migraine, and also I don't like seeing streams in bright lights all over my face while I'm sitting in bed trying to watch something, and I don't know how you guys like to watch, so I try to be as accommodating as possible. This seemed like the best way to not hurt anybody. Is that, let's see, I have horrific arachnophobia. Dude, I made myself jump just trying to look up the spelling of that word. Oh, I'm sorry. Not to try to trigger your arachnophobia or anything, but the reason I have gotten, like, past my even slight fear of spiders at this point is because of the amount of bites I've gotten this year. I've been bit in my sleep 5 or 6 times now, in the past year, and so I'm just kind of used to it at this point. Um, and I mean, like, because I haven't died from any of the bites, I've also just kind of accepted the fact that maybe they're not as harmful as I paint them out to be. And you're still alive. That is the. I'm still alive, I think. Unless this is purgatory, in which case I could get used to this. If this is heaven, then maybe I could wish for a little bit better. How's it going, Abda? Good to see you as well. So let's go ahead and start talking a little bit about planning here. Last night I was having a revelation. I had just watched Ahsoka, the final episode, with my brother. No spoilers for that. That has very little to do with the story of what inspired this. But I had watched that with my brother. My brother's Admiral, for those of you who don't know, and he helps mod a little bit here and there. And he was kind of just talking to me about King SMP stuff, and I was kind of talking to him again. Just a little bit of back and forth after the show. We ended up talking till like 3:30 in the morning with each other about stuff. Bold that title, it'll look nice. Bro, what? Oh, bold the title. Okay. I see. There you go. Like that. But yeah, we were talking since like till like 3:30 in the morning. Was really nice. Very, very good stuff. Shoot, Mod Brain welcoming in people. Thank you. Anyway, it's always good to have a community going. You know, I do that even on some of my friends' streams when I'm not modding for them. I instinctively need to welcome people. It's just I do it out of instinctive streamer brain of like, oh yes, welcome every single new person. Abda's been here before, but yeah, it's always nice to welcome people back in and such. It's just something I feel like I have to do. Um, yeah, Admiral and I talked about King SMP for a good while last night, this morning. Welcome in, CC. How are you doing today? I welcome everyone in streams I mod. See, none of my people do that. Well, Unreal does now, because I think he felt like he was slacking a little bit there, maybe. Finally, I mean, hi, Unreal. Good, my friend. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. But we were talking about King SMP and things that I felt like it needed, and things that he felt like it needed, and I kind of had a revelation. King SMP Season 3 is turning 1 this year, and it's probably, I'm just here to dispense ad times. Fair enough. But we kind of reached this point where I was like, King SMP Season 3 is turning 1 this year. What are we doing for that? And then I was like, oh crap. I feel like we haven't done very much all of a sudden. I kind of look back and I'm like, you ever look back on your life and you go, what have I been doing? That was kind of what we had with King SMP. I was like, okay, what have we added? We added a way to select titles, we added some NPCs, and we added a whole lot of quests. That's great. That's all great stuff. I mean, we also added outposts. Those are a fairly new addition. But I started going, what have we added? Okay. So we started adding things. So let me just kind of things added, right? This needs to be a different kind of text. I'm going to strain my eyes looking at that. We'll make this a subtitle. Or not a subtitle, I'm sorry, a heading. So, you know, you have your things added. Just boom, right? So some things that we've added to King SMP are quests. We've added things like NPCs. We've added outposts, and we've added titles. We already did way more than last season. True. Doesn't need to be super complicated. Ton of plugin server. Main part is community plus builds, which are 800% better this season. Pets, PvP manager, pets, and PvP manager. I'm sure there's more, but let's just start with this, right? I'm thinking too much about spiders now. Oh no. Oh jeez. So those are things that we've had added. Security from toxic trolls. Not quite yet. We haven't quite added that yet. But that's another thing that I was thinking about the other night. This is actually really important to add now, so let's go ahead and add it. Things that need to be added, right? Because this was another thing that I was thinking, like, what are the problems with King SMP? And I was like, okay, DDoSes, right? You know, that troll, toxic trolls, right? At one point, toxic community. I feel like that's been mostly fixed, but at the same time, I think there's still some community issues that need to be fixed. So, maybe not toxic community, but community issues. What are some other things? Community issues as of recent? Yes, yes, it's very recent, and we could probably nip it at the bud, and it would be fine. But there's delicate ways to address some of that stuff, and we'll figure it out. Things that need to be added: community issues, community issue fixes. There you go. Uh, there we go. Let me think. Other things that are broken or just need to be fixed. More outposts. Although no, I won't. I won't add that. I feel like that's going to be addressed in my next point, which I'll go ahead and address now. What's the next point exactly? Polish. Things to polish, okay? Now this sounds weird, but I had a revelation here. What if we relaunched King SMP on the 1-year celebration, right? And that's when we introduce like a whole new set of things like larger community. That's like our biggest thing right now holding us back is the lack of players, right? Can I actually zoom in a little bit here? I feel like you guys can't read that small text easily. So how do you go about polishing the things that you've already added? So quests, for example. This is what and this will have to be a whole mod meeting. Unreal, if you're playing Titanfall, you can get back to it. But I was just thinking about this. What would it take for quests to be in a place that we could go? What would we look at quests and say it's complete or it's good enough that I don't have to touch it for 5 months, 6 months, whatever time frame? How long could you leave quests alone realistically with the things that we have added now? How can we get quests to the point of absolute completion, basically? So, I don't know what exactly that would be, but let's just say quests need polished. NPCs I feel like are pretty well polished, but let's just throw that on there. Outposts need finished, right? We still need 2 more outposts, and we need to finish Doomfall. Titles, I feel like that's been pretty well polished. I feel like you're already fine on that. Pets just need to get kind of finished up. I think you're pretty well set on that. PvP manager is already polished. So things already polished, right? That would be everything else that's already taken care of. Imagine armadillo pet. Personally, I would prefer a crab pet. But fair enough. Fair enough. But an armadillo pet would be kind of funny. Then make requirements 10, which I already did, and switch around some unlock requirements. Oh crap. So things that we've already polished. I'd say titles are pretty well done. PvP manager is done. It's been done. We have here. Let me add some things here. Land claims. Maybe things that need to be added. Maybe an actual proper anti-cheat, right? Okay. So, things that are already added that are kind of, I'd say, are polished are land claims. Some of our events are pretty well polished. So things like, I think mostly to the auctions, I think those are pretty well polished. Maybe we need a better system. Crab is lame. You shut your mouth. It has better use than that darn armadillo. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I have 0 use for dog armor, and I will not apologize for saying that. How many of you are willing to sacrifice your dog's life in the game to even bring out the armor? I'm just throwing that out there. The crab claw is better. It's actually useful. It's a thing people want to use. Me, I'll kill dogs. Okay, that ad actually made me. No. Dang. Wow. Great timing. Great timing. But let's see. Things to polish. Maybe we need to polish our workflow. I feel like maybe actually planning ahead on King SMP in general is better, and that's part of the event thing. Is if our workflow improves and is polished, then our events will be polished because we'll actually plan those out months in advance. So we'll actually be able to think about the gameplay and actually, have everything all set and ready. Things that I think I would like are event or monthly event leaderboards, right? Um, I realistically need more people to help with making events because my creativity is pretty low right now, and I get that, and that's the big thing with workflow. Honestly, is if we can get more ideas flowing together to make, if our workflow improves, right? If this improves, everything else in theory should improve with it. So maybe that's the big thing that we need to work on. I don't know. But things that need to be added are some pretty big ones. Like, how do you get rid of toxic trolls? How do you get rid of DDoSes? Well, the biggest one is a whitelist. Would a whitelist for King SMP's Season 3 relaunch make sense? I don't know. We'll figure that out eventually. I'm going to go listen to music. Good luck. All right, see you, Nuggy. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate it. Enjoy the music. You can always suggest events or anything else in Discord. Yes, and that's one of the big things I think is kind of starting to flow traffic through Discord. Um, so what are some things that we would want for Season 3, uh, uh, 1 year relaunch? Right? I'm calling it a relaunch. I don't know what it will be. It depends on how much work we need to put into it. If we could even consider it a relaunch. But what are some things that we want for it? We have forms. True. True. We do have forms. That's very helpful. With all those feature suggestions. Like let me go over there and see some of the things we've added from those. King SMP suggestions added. We've added a bug report channel because of it. We added some of the quest ideas. We added the ability to choose ranks. We added a mall/shopping district expansion. We've added an Unbreakable Flint and Steel quest. We added vanilla tweaks. We've changed the server restart time because of that. There's been a lot of great things. So I think the King SMP suggestions channel is definitely very helpful for us. I think by year 2 we make definitive final decisions on everyone who has applied to be a mod. Things to add: server art. Yes, server art. That's another thing. Official server branding. We need banners. We need icons. We need I want to make like a whole media kit, and I'll explain here a little bit more. See, I'm not that much help. I'm pretty new to the server, and that's a-okay. Actually, new people have a very fresh perspective, and it's actually very helpful. Let me fix that. There we go. But for the relaunch, right? We talked about this before, and some of you guys might not like the idea still. I don't know. I think if we can get some of the things here taken care of. The only problem is this. We can't fix our larger community because we don't have access to it yet. What if we were able to what are some ways we could grow the community? Is there some things that I was thinking about where we used to have this idea for the launch of Season 3, and it just didn't work out because we didn't have enough interest for it, and I didn't really feel confident just asking people. Yeah, CC joined yesterday, or 2 days ago, I think. But they've been hanging out in Twitch chat for a little while. Um, I know very little knowledge of what's going on with the server, so I'm just listening. Maybe I'll learn more about it. Fair enough. Was it yesterday or the day before? I believe it's the day before, but I can't recall 100%. Um, but for season 3, year 1 relaunch, we thought about for season three's launch to be about inviting other creator communities to partake. So we would host their viewer joinable stuff on our server. Yeah, CC's from Delta. Delta's pretty sick. He's pretty cool. Um, but inviting other creators to host their content on our server, further growing the community, making it more desirable to play. Yeah, Delta Gaming, Delta One Gaming, I think. I think. Yeah. Um, sounded more correct, but wasn't sure. Yeah, you got it. You're there. You know now. But so inviting other creators, and I'll make a whole list about that later off stream. I don't want to make that on stream and then everybody start going, "Hey, you should invite insert person here." Set it wrong again. Delta One Gaming with a one instead of an I. I see. I see. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. But I have a list of people here. Wow, his own mod. Shaking my head. So inviting other creators to join in on the season 3 relaunch, and then partaking in it throughout the year for the rest of the season. Ideally, for the rest of the series, really, I would like it to just keep growing. Maybe for season 3, year 1 relaunch, maybe we add some KSMP merch. I don't know. Maybe we add a Patreon. I don't know. Again, ways to make the server more sufficient for itself, ideally, but also um, to celebrate the launch. What are some big things that we don't currently have? And I think a roadmap to kind of give people an idea of what's coming up. I think that's great. Um, let's see, 2 years, 26 days, 1 hour of following, and 1,071.83 hours of watch time. Jeez, that would be great. Depends on the people, though, because even for the people that do agree, it's just a matter of if people join once and never play again, or if some people actually decide to start playing. Yeah, that's the big thing. And I think really my major selling point of being able to do this is saying, hey, you can come in, you can play, and you guys won't have to pay for it, because that's like the big turnoff for a lot of content creators in any sort of sense of this is like, I don't want to have to pay for it. And I get that, and that was one thing I was struggling with back when we were starting, was I didn't want to ask people to join King SMP as a creator and then play with it being called King SMP. That feels weird. But if you change it to, it's still King SMP, but you guys are a part of it, but because I'm paying for it, because I'm staffing it, because I'm taking care of, a lot of the major decisions, so you guys can just play and enjoy yourselves, I feel like it's at least appropriate that it's called King SMP. And maybe we can adjust it a little bit later down the road when, the King server network actually happens. But we're still a couple of years off from that. But for the season 3 1 year relaunch, anniversary relaunch, I think, maybe it wouldn't hurt to have other people come in and help rebirth the community. I don't know. I don't know. they won't have to run it either. Yeah, that's the big thing. Like, I've already got moderators picked out, and I've got some reserve mods even. Um, that would be great for it. And if we were to do inviting other creators, that would also involve a new, or probably a new community Discord. Um, that way, it's not so weird having them invite people to my personal Discord. And then having an actual official way to become a actual creator on the server, rather than just getting it because you create content. There has to be a certain set of guidelines that you reach or something like that. But a new Discord there. Did you see who applied? It's been a minute since I looked, but I have looked. Okay, I've looked at all 13. Yeah. Um. Yeah, I've looked at all of that. But yeah, I mean, if we do a season 3 relaunch here, what are some ways that we can celebrate it? So, for one, merchandise, and maybe we even do a little giveaway on that first month with the merch. Whether that be I give away a 100% coupon on that to a winner of an event, or I give it away to somebody in the stream, or I give it away to a random player, whatever it might be. Either way, a 100% coupon for the merch probably would help engage some interest there. But also, everybody can still buy it. Um, I've got to think up some merch ideas before we go there. But wait, I literally can't tell who 13 was. Um, I'm pretty sure that's. I'm pretty sure that's bagels. I'm not gonna. I think. I think. I told Delta you complimented him, and he said, "Well, King is really cool too." Oh, thank you. uh, Makes way more sense. I was like, no way, he's coming in and calling me mean. Also, baseball. Yeah, that was what I was figuring when he called you mean. I was like, okay, and then he said that he banned 6 hackers. I was like, yeah, that's bagels. Um, Let me think here. So we've talked about things that we've added, which are all great things. So, how do we get them to completion? Like, Unreal, what you were saying about quests. Um, that's gonna be an Unreal thing. I'm not necessarily saying he has to do it all, but I need to talk to Unreal about it. Um, Definitely a thing I need to talk to him about. I gotta go, leaving to go back home. I'll be back. Is Patreon a possibility? To answer that question briefly, it's a possibility, yes. I don't know if it would be very wise, but it's definitely a possibility. I talk to Delta every day. That's awesome. I have very few people I talk to every day, but I've been working on gaining some more friends. You gotta have a couple of people that you talk to every once in a while, you know? But Quest is very much an Unreal thing. NPCs are very much an Unreal thing. Outposts is a builder thing, but a builder thing becomes an Unreal thing at the end of the line because our workflow isn't fine. So that's a king thing, really, is the workflow. The event is going to be a staff thing, right? And so at the end of the day, you got to look at the problem here of how do we help Unreal do his tasks here? How do we help the builders do their tasks, and how do we help the staff do their tasks? Well, it's ultimately on me to fix the workflow. So how do you polish the workflow? Really, I guess is our thing here. So workflow is ultimately a king thing. And so to fix said workflow, you need to have a plan, really. That's ultimately what it boils down to. Have a plan. Um, and so how do you get that plan is where we're at now. So maybe plan 4 months in advance. 4 months, 4 to 12 months in advance. I'm not gonna limit it, but obviously 12 months is the ideal. If you can plan 1 year in advance, you're always ahead of the ball. 4 months at minimum, because if you start falling behind, then your events are gonna start suffering, your quests are gonna start suffering, your NPCs and your outposts are gonna start suffering. All your things that are gonna be added, they're gonna start suffering too. They're gonna get delayed. At the end of the day, you can't have your larger community without, polishing all of your features and staying on target to get things like your official server branding. So you can hand that media kit to your other creators and say, hey, if you want to make videos on my server, here's the media kit. It has your logos and it has a promotional trailer even. But having that branding there is how you're going to get to your relaunch eventually. So, I want to have a media kit ready for people. This is going to turn into a more proper business model while still maintaining the community aspect of it all. But it's going to go more business route on the behind the scenes to fix all the other problems like, DDoSing and toxic trolls. We got to just figure out a good way to solve that. And one thing that I was kind of thinking about was to solve your DDoSing and your toxic troll issue. If I'm online and there's no mods on, then it does take my attention away to take care of the trolls. So what if we implemented a way, I don't know if there's a plugin that does this or if there's any way to do this already, but what if we could find a way to turn on a whitelist while I'm the only one online? If I'm the only staff member, then I can't take care of the other things while I'm streaming. So if I'm the only person online, then maybe we can implement a whitelist system. So until Unreal can hop on, or until Admiral, or until Ana can hop online, just nobody else can join until then. That's a possibility. But ultimately, at the end of the day, until we can take care of these two issues, or really even these three issues, we can't really obtain our other creators, because I want to instill to them that it's going to be safe and that they can trust it. So how do you take care of this without adding if other creators want to join and bring their communities with them, we don't want to make it a pain in the butt to get whitelisted either. And so that's the other thing of how do you get the whitelist scenario taken care of? Haven't quite figured that out yet, but I'm working on it. I'm coming up with some plans here. And maybe we'll think of something to fix that along the way. But at the moment, that's one thing that I'm stumped on. And so, at minimum, we need to fix workflow. So planning. One other thing we need. Hey, Flames, how's it going? Good to see you, dude. One other thing we need to get going with the workflow is, at minimum, 1 to 4 mod meetings a month. You can't keep planning without having meetings. And the meetings are what's going to drive people to help get these things done. I did it again and now I have an ad. Oh no! Welcome in Flames, though. Good to see ya. But we're talking about King SMP plans and such, and so we were kind of thinking up some things on how we could possibly make the season 3 year one, the 1 year anniversary, super special. And so one thing that we were kind of thinking up here was relaunching, and setting up a whole bunch of stuff. And if we even have to take the server down for a couple of days to get it all set up and ready, then maybe it's worth it. Hey, Delta, how's it going? Good to see you, dude. I heard you heard about my little compliment for you. Just talking about you. All good things. All good things. It's going good. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. But yeah, we've been a little bit busy here, coming up with some ideas possibly, and I think we've got some ideas here. I tattletaled on you, King. You know, I was always a fan of tattletales, to be honest, because I like seeing justice get served, and more often than not, that's what it meant. So, you know, we need tattletales in the world. Appreciate it. It's always great hanging out with you too. To catch you guys up here though on what we've been talking about. Yesterday night, or I guess this morning. Yeah, this morning, it was 12:30. My brother and I talked for like 3 hours about my viewer joinable server, for Minecraft, and so we were kind of like going back and forth on some ideas and some concepts and a whole lot of stuff there. And so I was like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing tomorrow. I feel like I'm way more effective with stream stuff if I or I'm way more effective with anything planning related if I do it on stream, because for some reason I'm 100% more honest and realistic on stream than I am by myself. Super weird. But how we were kind of trying to discuss how do we fix some of our issues, and how do we make the 1 year anniversary really special, because it's coming up. We're 2 months away, 3 months away, really. And so, another possible thing I talked about to hopefully deal with, the DDoSing would be possibly moving hosting, to Bisect instead of Shockbite. And so that's like one thing that I've been kind of thinking about. I don't know. Can't believe it's been almost a year already. I know, it feels like just a couple days ago, really. You're pretty cool too, bud. Thank you. I appreciate that. I agree with Delta. I still felt so bad about the toxic troll you had to deal with the other day. I felt powerless in helping. Yeah, I really wish that didn't happen, but it was just one of those things. None of us could do anything about it. He was gonna be there whether we liked it or not. Um, yeah, that did suck. I wasn't really. I think I did a decent enough job at keeping, my composure, but still, very very frustrating. Um, that's why I thought a whitelist would be a good idea. He, she, it, they, whatever. Yeah, yeah. I it it's frustrating when people do that, and luckily we did get all their accounts, I think, finally. And if not, it is what it is. We'll just keep messing with it till we find the ideal solution here. Um, because maybe the best way to go about it is, if we want to solve these three things, in order to have the inviting other creators to be permanent members of the server as creators and such. Maybe I need to discuss with other creators to see what it would take for them to have some amount of safety, comfort. Have some amount of comfort in the fact that we're trying to negate those things and see what they have ideas for. I mean, creators are very creative people, and they have outside of the box ideas. And so sometimes I get so caught up thinking of my ideas that are probably garbage anyway. But I get so caught up in thinking about those that I forget sometimes my solution isn't the best one. And so, like, CC, you had some pretty cool ideas, and I think a whitelist would probably help. As much as I don't want to do it because at this point it would be letting them win, I'm fighting a battle on two fronts now. It's not just DDoSers, and it's not just a troll. It's those two things at the same time now. So, unfortunately, they're kind of starting to push me in a direction that I don't want to go. But sometimes that's what you have to do as well. So we'll see. We'll see. I was talking to Delta about that situation yesterday. I was upset that happened to you. It sucks. It sucks, but I try not to let it bother me too much if I can. It's not letting them win at all. You can still add people, only they won't get the attention they're looking for. True. True. Yeah, I mean, we could probably find good ways to do it. I want to try to automate it if I can, just because I don't want to have to put more work on Unreal or any of the other mods. As it is, they're already pretty busy and they work for free. But also, I do need to probably just start finding more mods as well. It's tough. There's a lot of choices to be made. And I truly don't know sometimes what the right move is. But I think maybe hmm, maybe the best course of action on this one is a collection of ideas. I don't know. I don't think there's a one size fits all solution. I think we need two sizes. I think that's the scenario. I don't know. We'll see. That really stinks that happened. Nah, you have some good ideas. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You need a second Unreal. That's true. That's true. It's a shame. We found one Unreal really quick, but finding a second one has proven to be very, very difficult. I mean, he's got so many great ideas and such that it's like he manages to get everything done, and it's just crazy. I don't know how he consistently does that. More mods means more server moderation. Yes. What happened to Lunar? Lunar is busy, unfortunately. So like we kind of lost him, I guess. But at the same time, I respect it. He's taking a priority on school, and I get that. It's rough. I wish he didn't have to do school so much, but I also respect the grind. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by this Rubik's Cube. I suck at them, but I have fun with it. I've got one side solved. I hate to be that guy, but in order to keep servers safe, you may need to add more security, even if it's a bit extra work to keep the server and community safe. True, true. And that's the tough thing. How much safety do you need, and how much are you able to provide? Less chance of toxic trolls taking the attention. True, true. Like, I want more mods, but the problem is, and no offense to anybody that's applied, or anybody out there at all, I just haven't found anybody yet that I can put in that position and just let them go. There's been several times where I've, like, picked out somebody. I've kind of looked at them, and I think they've got a really good chance here. I like this person. I've got a good feeling about them. And then they kind of just, I'm like, give me a couple of weeks before I pick them. Give me a couple of weeks, and then in those last couple of weeks, we really do see their true colors just shine through. And it's like we can't pick them now. They've made it so I can't pick them. Um, and so that introduces a whole nother thing where we've had to deal with that before too. Where we've had players have issues with certain mods, and how do you go about fixing that? I mean, I don't want a mod that's also gonna be a problem for the community. I, that's gonna that can really mess you up too. Um, Lots of tough things to consider, and I don't have all the answers yet. We'll figure it out eventually. Totally understandable. You want to make sure it's someone who really fits the role, you see eye to eye with, and fully trust. It takes a lot. True. True. Roll, not troll. I get a little bit dyslexic, and autocorrect really screws me over. So I get the spelling mistakes. I do. Maybe the question is, how large of a role does a mod play? And that's another fantastic question, actually. And there's been some back and forth on that, and I think really the best solution might be is to bring back the trainee role. Unreal kind of got rid of it at one point because we didn't really take the time to train people. We just kind of threw them in. Wasn't a huge fan of that, but also I wasn't there to train anybody, so it was kind of like not possible for us to take care of it. But maybe we revisit that idea to bring back the trainee role, so we can take them through the process of learning. But also, if we notice that they're dealing with situations poorly, there's that line of uh, seniority. Obviously, like, I'm at the top, and I will fire everybody that needs to be fired. I'm not gonna throw that on somebody else until I just physically am too busy. Um, and I mean, we do have other people that are considered higher up in terms of the hierarchy. So, Unreal is supposed to mostly be taking care of the people that work on the server. Whereas Admiral falls in line where he's supposed to take care of the people that are taking care of the server and the community and all that. And those two positions are equals compared to my position as the ultimate authority. It's a dictatorship, really. And I'm not sorry for it. um, but I think maybe, possibly, the solution would be, we probably need to bring back a secondary role. That way, people like Anna, who are a mod and knows the difference between right and wrong, can watch over somebody who doesn't quite understand everything or is still learning everything. Maybe they have slightly less capability where they can't, they may not be able to perm ban anybody, or they may not have access to certain information or whatever, but they have the ability to still help out and such. I don't know. I watched a mod on a different whitelist server who didn't agree with another mod and ended up ruining an area on the server, a very important area where all players could see this. This server was very well known. Was a very well-known server that was meant for kids to join without worry of predators, griefers, mature content, etc. The staff were all working towards making one of the safest servers on the internet. I was on the staff too, and I got to see what it looks like when a mod goes rogue, and it was messy. So it makes perfect sense to be picky. Sorry for the wall text. No worries. That's actually perfect, because it also shows no matter how rigorous your testing is, you may still have mistakes. There may still be people that show up and their intent is to, to destroy stuff and to be a problem. Um, I mean, I've talked about this guy before, and I won't go out and name names, but we had a guy on the server at one point who really took a liking to having as much power as he did, and so he never really did anything with the power, but that was the problem. He didn't want to really be a mod. He just wanted to have the title of being mod. And so that created its own set of issues within even the team. And so that's one of the other major things that maybe we need to take a look at is maybe have an evaluation period or something. I don't know. It's a tough thing, and it might just be a thing that I've got to talk with my mods about and see what they think. Things to help them out, things that will give them some sense of security, because ultimately they're going to be the people working with them more. It's not that I don't want to work with my mod team, but at the end of the day, they're there so I don't have to do any work. So, I don't know. Um, so let's go ahead and get back to this workflow, right? Because that'll fix all the other things. I'm not sure about the mod issue, and I'm just gonna have to talk about it with other people. Which, you know what? Let me add that. Things to polish, or no, that's not a polish thing. That's a things that need to be added. More mods. Can't handle everything 100% on your own. You have to do some delegation. True, definitely true. And as it is, it's been debated whether or not I do too much or not enough. I think more often than not, we've come up with the fact that I don't, or that I do a little bit too much, which sucks. I don't like that. I like doing more, but I've been told I'm not allowed to do more. Um, in some instances. Um, so the question, I guess, becomes, huh, perhaps, perhaps we need to, with the workflow, rework the hierarchy so it's easier to delegate stuff, and maybe we can have reserve mods, people that can come on and do things, um, in 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 cases where there's extra people online, that we just have to take care of. Um, if there's like 20 people online and Unreal's not able to be there, I need to be able to look at CC and say, "Hey, CC, can you take care of this for me?" And just give you, a temp mod position where you can, just go in um, and you can make sure that nobody's cheating or whatever. I don't know. I believe it's more complicated than it being too much or too little. I think there are things that could be altered to make it easier to handle, like security. But I do see what you're saying about the mod choosing for your server. Yeah, that does make sense. You can't overdo it. You have to do things in moderation. From my experience, you don't want to burn yourself out. Definitely true. Can't overdo it. Agreed with Delta. That makes sense. Yeah, I definitely agree with what you guys are saying there. Delegation is helpful. That last one hurt my brain. Oh no. Oh no, not the ads. Back, hey, welcome back. Um, so definitely mod structuring needs some work, or at the very least, a team, maybe even a brand new team that helps with certain aspects of you know of what we're doing, whether that be branding, people that can make certain things for the server, whether that be people making logos or people making videos and people making banners and different things that would make the server stand out, icons, banners, logos, possible merchandise even. That one I feel a little less comfy delegating, well, not delegating that one, but more so I don't feel comfy asking people to do that one yet because there's very little money in it, and I would feel horrible asking somebody to try to make something for us to sell to support the server, and them not get any portion of that. So, back from ads. Welcome back, Delta. Logos are cool. Maybe I did have that sentence did work. Brain broken again. Oh no. You might need to press the restart button, turn off and turn back on. It's okay, Delta. I have migraine brain right now, not so far off. Or our autocorrect decided to fix my sentence. Autocorrect is great. It's really a great tool. We love autocorrect so very much. So let's go ahead and get off the topic of mods. Like I'll add that to, or it's already added. My bad. But we'll get off the topic of that one. It's just gonna be a thing we'll have to fix probably later when I have all my mods together and I can go, hey guys, we're not firing you. We need more. And how do I do it or whatever? Communication is key with that one, I would say. So I'm sure we'll figure something out there. We'll see. We'll see. Um, um, that was actually a really good talk. I had a hard time thinking of the other things I was going to talk about. My brain hyperfixates on my modding. That's my bad. No worries, no worries. That was actually great stuff to talk about because it gives me ideas, and any ideas I get might help with fixing everything else. So we'll see how that turns out. Yay, happy to help them. It's always appreciated. It's always, always, always appreciated. So what if we look at how to fix DDoS? Right? What are some methods to fixing, our issue here of, DDoSers? So obviously we have things like whitelist. We have things like swap hosts. They might have better DDoS protection. Maybe even looking into better DDoS protection. Maybe not necessarily from just Shockbite, but seeing if we can add a layer between Shockbite and the DDoS. Whatever that might be, I don't know. We'll have to look into that and see if there's at least a way to help stop it. CC is a great mod and always very helpful. I definitely know that as a matter of fact. Every time I see CC, always hard at work with moderating and all that. It's always good to see. Talking with migraine brains. Fair enough. Until my brain goes on tilt that I'm not self. Hey, You guys, even when brain no worky, my brain no worky half the time. But I find that's like the best times. Like my thought, my brain is clouded, but it comes up with some like actually interesting concepts, and then having like three of those, we're thinking way outside the box. We have no bounds, right? I'll tell you what though, I am tired. I have a trip to go on Thursday. Thursday. I have a trip on Thursday. Thursday night, Friday morning. I don't know when I'm leaving. That's what I'm realizing. Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Thursdays are fun. Got a mod Thursday. Let's see. When am I leaving? I think I leave early Friday morning, but I'm not 1000% sure. Let me see if I can pull it up. When am I getting in? I sent it to a different person, probably. We're gonna find it. We're gonna find this when I'm leaving, because now I need to know. Okay, I'm leaving early Friday. I might be at the airport, like, at 6:30, probably before 6:30 a.m. Um, so, I'm gonna be tired for a little bit. And I don't come back till Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember. I just had it pulled up, but I just closed it again because I'm an idiot. It's fine. I get to pick out a Lizard Friday, I think. I all of the all the great things happen Fridays, I find. Like Fridays just tend to be a good time all around. Um and so like all of my best top moments I feel like have been on Fridays. I can't explain it. It just doesn't make sense, but they're just the best days. Um let's see, so fix DDoS, whitelist, swap hosts, better DDoS protection. I think those are our best solutions for fixing a DDoS at the moment. How do you fix your toxic troll situation, right? That's another problem that we've got. Um, so in this case, you're looking at either a whitelist, more mods, or okay, so for a DDoS, you need a permanent whitelist. For toxic trolls, you can have a permanent whitelist or an optional temp whitelist. When no mods are online. And so those are some of the options that you got there. How do you fix your community issues? Well, that's really a issue that just needs to be. Whitelist is a really good way to stop most trolling and DDoS. True, very true. It's hard because, like, at the same time, like, I definitely think it could. It would definitely work. The problem really therein lies where it's another barrier. And I hate just having barriers. But I mean, like, it's a barrier out of necessity, I suppose. That's the other thing. I don't know. It's rough. I hate having roadblocks for people. It sucks. Oof my head. Oh no. Hmm. Let me think here. What could we do? Can't have nice things thanks to bad trolls. Very true. That is very, very true. With with the DDoS thing, the quickest way is definitely a whitelist. Your second best thing might be, let me see if I can pull this up and see if it would even work. Uh, so I don't know how many of you are familiar with it, but there's this website called Cloudflare, and what they do is they take your cyber traffic and then they filter it to try to make sure only real people are getting in, and so it stops, it stops your DDoS attacks. It stops, it even says it stops WAF attacks and CDN attacks. I don't even know what those two are, but I'm assuming they're also some forms of cyber attacks. And so there's a possibility that maybe even just throwing in Cloudflare can help. I don't know. It's mitigation at least. I don't know if there's a good way to throw that in for like for our server. It looks like it actually is possible. I'll have to look into it. Let me quickly make note of that. Let me make note of that. Right, Cloudflare. Just at the very least. Shaking my head, making us good trolls look bad. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I'm. Cloudflare might be possible. I've tried something similar to it in the past, but it wasn't gonna work for what we needed. And then I heard that Cloudflare didn't even stop an attack one time on somebody else's server, and so I was like, left a bad taste in my mouth. But maybe it's worth it. That would at least take care of half our issues. Toxic Trolls is very new. And we'll see what we can do with that. I mean, obviously, at some point, a whitelist will have to, it'll have to show up at some point. We'll just have to figure out the best way to handle that when we get there. When we're, running a very full server, especially, that's when we'll need to look into more control on who's in and who's out and all that. But to fix our community issues right now, there's a little bit of a toxic pool growing. And the best way to honestly fix it is to be intolerant. Intolerance really goes a far way. And I totally butchered that. There we go. But some intolerance for it. If you're seeing some toxicity, call it out. Ban it. Whatever you gotta do. But also, like, publicly addressing it. Publicly addressing issues that you're seeing and just calling it out. Not necessarily calling people out, but calling behavior out. A lot of the times people don't realize just what toxicity is. And so they think they're being funny, or they think that it's okay, and they don't realize just what they're doing, I think. Bad trolls are looking for attention advantages or video/stream attention. Mostly what they're looking for is attention. Very true. Very, very true. I can definitely agree with that. What you missed, Unreal. So, what we kind of looked at were possible DDoS fixes, which would include either a permanent whitelist, swapping our host to see if their DDoS protection is better, or just adding in an extra layer. I haven't looked into it too much, but Cloudflare is a possibility. They do some specialized protection for servers, game servers, and so it might be worth looking into them to see if it's even compatible, even. And if it is, then I might look into adding that even tonight. We'll see. We were talking about toxic trolls, the people that joined a couple days ago and just kept joining on new accounts every single time. And we kept IP banning them because they were using VPNs and stuff. That's kind of more addressing this. So it's a very new issue, but it's still going to be an issue, especially if we try to grow the server. So your things there would be either a permanent whitelist, having more mods so that mods are online at all times, or having a temporary whitelist so when no mods are online, no new people could join. I know Cloudflare, okay. I wasn't sure if you were familiar with them or not. I know they're on a lot of websites, but you don't really ever see them on video games, so, or that you know of at least. More often than not, it's kind of filtered, and they just don't even tell you you're there. But with like the temp whitelist, I can see possibly working, but we'll get into the more mods thing in a minute. Our community issues right now, we just gotta be intolerant of it and then publicly address it and say, because I don't think they realize just what they're saying and doing and being. More often than not, that's the case with this age group that we have playing. They don't quite realize. We kind of went over things to polish and delegated the work. Unreal thing for quests, NPCs, and outposts, basically. I mean, it's a builder thing, but you're the leader of the builders. And so I think to fix, your things, I think it's better if we fix our workflow first because it'll help you. So, planning things 4 to 12 months in advance if we can, staying ahead of the game at least by 4 months, ideally up to 12 months. You can plan past 12 months, but it's almost pointless because by that point you're going to have changed some things. But, it's good to stay ahead by at least 4 months so your events don't suffer, so, your community doesn't suffer. And then having 1 to 4 mod meetings a month, whether that be weekly mod meetings or monthly mod meetings or bi-weekly mod meetings. Either way, I think we need to have a scheduled mod meeting every month at least one. Ideally, if we can have a couple more, and then just make sure that we have a list of things that we've done and a list of things that we want to get done, and just kind of bring our ideas all together and see what happens with that. That's kind of the plan there. And I want to elaborate more on workflow at some point, but I just haven't quite got everything up here yet. And I'd like to elaborate more on these, but I don't really know everything that goes into these because the builders don't really have a communication plan yet, and that's probably the big thing we need to find a way to communicate with them more. Appoint a proper leader, which is already you Unreal, but having that become more official. Events is a staff thing in general, but it's really at the top of the line going to be an Unreal thing. You at the end of the day, Unreal are going to be the guy probably working on that. I don't mind helping with it or coming up with ideas, but at the end of the day, if you're going to be the guy that's going to have to sit down and make the gameplay of it work, then at the very least we can find ways to help you is the idea. Mod meetings are great to do. Oh, definitely. We used to do them pretty often, and then we kind of fell out of the habit of it. Mod meetings is such a cool idea. I hate waiting last minute on stuff. Same. Beer pack ad. Oh no. Indigo was the best thing to ever happen to the builder team. Definitely. Indigo has been really good for that. But I think that's really the big thing, honestly, is if we can get the workflow taken care of, that's also going to help with the builder things, you know? I feel like that's one of the big things of like they don't just realize how many projects we have lined up. They don't realize, there's no communication there. So they don't realize that they're not the only ones working on it, or they don't realize that there are things to work on. And then I think just in general, um it makes good sense for the builders to have more communication. So if we can at least, as a team for the mod meetings and the staff meetings and all that, we can make that all flow together. Um, then we can kind of tell each person that's the leader of each thing, hey, don't forget to put out an announcement about this. Don't forget to put out an announcement about this. All that kind of stuff. I used to mod a friend named Kiki, and she and I would often go over event slash stream plans months in advance. She had me really involved, and we do so many fun plans for holidays and such. That is awesome. That's really good. We try to do some of that. Specifically, Unreal and I, we both try to keep that kind of stuff going. But as of late, especially around summertime, we were very busy. I mean, I've been busy all of this September. I mean, Unreal, you and I were supposed to do a meeting for a podcast episode. We're a little bit overdue on that, and that is 100% my fault. I just want to preface that and let everybody know that is 100% on me. Um, think here. Hmm. I don't know. A lot of this kind of stuff I'm just thinking about, but I'm realizing a lot of it I can't like do right here, right now. Let's see. If you ever wanted to end up applying for mod, it would be really awesome to have someone contribute creatively, and you seem really cool. I think I remember you said something about not being ready for it, which is totally fine. Really appreciate Unreal, but I don't really like applying for roles. I don't want to ask for it. I like the concept of feeling I've earned it and being asked if I'd like to be a part of the team. Also, I feel I'm pretty new here. I feel might not be a good fit for it yet. Fair enough. That's a very valid reasoning. We really only use mod applications to gauge people, and if we know you before then, it's less needed. Not everyone on the team has gone through an application. Very true. I joined before there was even one, and another mod. Anna didn't even do the form. Yeah, I don't think Anna had to fill out one. It's really cool. I like some people just earned it. Yeah. More often than not, you earn it before, but we use the application to kind of gauge a couple of things. Um, One of the other things I was kind of talking about Unreal was possibly, and this might not happen for a while, but with the official server branding, it would be interesting if we could get more like an actual kind of maybe a sort of team for that. And maybe there's a creativity team that falls under, or where the task of making sure the branding is there. That's part of their job, but also they do things like coming up with ideas. They're the ideas people, you know. Maybe that's a thing we look into possibly having. And ideas people don't have really any power. They just come up with ideas, and maybe they have a private channel where they can kind of talk about that kind of stuff. I don't know. I knew Anna a while before then. That's true. That is very true. So what we're at right now is just kind of addressing each thing that we want to add or fix or change, and coming up with ideas on how to add, fix, and change it. So community issues, the best way to fix it is honestly by being intolerant of it and to publicly address it. And then, I mean, intolerance really does cover it for the most part. Um, but I think ultimately, at the end of the day, making sure to just publicly address this, because I don't think most people know. I think the people that are doing it right now just don't understand the fact that, what they're doing or saying and being are, a little bit disrespectful. Oops, my bad. You guys probably heard that. I just dropped my Rubik's Cube. It's fine. I fidget with it a little bit. I know school on Friday and a 5-day weekend. Hey, nice. I'll be out of town Friday, unfortunately, but we're gonna have to do a King SMP stream tomorrow. My Rubik's Cube, yeah, it's the same one. I had a side finished earlier, and then I kind of fidgeted with it some more. Just, hmm. I'll teach you how to solve it at some point. I solved it once, and it was nice. But I don't know. I just like fidgeting with it a little bit. So we've got our community issues fixed. How do we get a larger community, though? And this is one that's ultimately should be our biggest priority, and that's because it hinges on everything else basically being fixed. So what are some things that make people enter? So unique features, you know, and then fixing the things that make people run away from it. So fix DDoS, remove bad behavior / trolls. How do you grow the community through advertisement means? Well, more creators. Um, Special events. Um, that kind of stuff, right? That would really go a long way. Anti cheats. That's not much of anything. I don't need to elaborate on that. Monthly event leaderboards. I just gotta look into that myself. I think. I don't want to. I don't want to have to delegate that one to Unreal. He's been busy with his own things. We'll figure out the leaderboards. I could probably learn that on my own. But what about official server branding? Would that fall under a new team, possibly? Let me quickly just heading to. Okay, so maybe possibly a whole new team that takes care of the branding, or um, at the very least, we need new logo, new icon, or just a icon in general, a new banner, things like that. Um, New trailer. That's the kind of stuff that this would entail. And if we have a team that helps with it, that would, probably go a long way. At some point, that would also include merch. Might as well add that on just so I have it for later. More mods. This is just for the sake of moderators. Not to be confused with modifications. Let me think of some other things. Are there any other things that we should add to King SMP? Either at any point, really, not even just now, between now and the new season, or even just adding during the new season, or not season. I'm sorry. Words. Possibly item tag, but that's not that important. Okay. I'll add it. Just so we have it on here for later. Things to polish. I'll expound upon these probably during a mod meeting, unless Unreal wants to go ahead and name off each and everything that you know needs to be done with quests and needs to be done with NPCs and needs to be done with outposts. I mean, with outposts, it's finish Dunefall, build 2 more. For now, I mean that's basically what we need for outposts. I mean, it'll tie into the quest thing where you have to do a couple of custom quests for it, and same thing with NPCs. It ties in with the outposts, but outside of that, if we weren't adding anything more to King SMP as of today, what were things that we needed to? What are things that we would need to add to make it at least playable for a very long time to come? Hmm. I plan on writing down what to do for quests since I'm the only one who's concerned with it. Well, we'll whenever we have our next mod meeting, whenever that might be, then I'll write it down. Just I have personal notes on it, and that way, whenever we start, actually taking care of our workflow, then I can ask you about it and maybe help you break it down a little bit if you need to break down some stuff to make it more bite sized. Uh, Stretching. My chair is locked. Hang on. Gotta just like stretch back like that. I could do with this. This is nice. Looked like a nice stretch. I love reclining chairs. I've got to say they're very nice. Um, but I'll leave the staff things mostly to have during a meeting because that's gonna be like probably a thing I'm gonna have to mostly discuss with Unreal. I at SMP Players 3 and ask people if they want anything specifically to be added. Yeah, and go ahead and tell them to use the forums. That way, it's at least in one organized spot where we can see it very easily for later. I'll just make it a forum off the bat. Awesome, thank you. Things that are already polished are titles, I think. PvP manager, land claims, and auctions. In my opinion, auctions are at least auctions and land claims and PvP manager. Titles, I don't know a ton about. I mean, we're still messing around with it, but at its current state, I think it's fine. For now anyway. I couldn't think of anything that would go, yes, I need, insert thing here. So that takes you ultimately down to the relaunch, and what would be entailed with this? So if we were inviting other creators, we would need a new community Discord, a media kit, and so that would just be all of the branding, everything like that, thrown all together. A copy paste copy paste command that they can have in their chat. You know, things like that. And then that would be good. Let me think. Are there other things that we would need for inviting other creators? That would be a new thing that I'd have to do, monthly meetings with them. Which luckily this is actually gonna fall in line with perfect timing here. By the end of this year, starting of next year, I probably won't be doing Wednesday night streams consistently anymore. I gotta get some rest. Have a good brainstorming session, dude. I hope you can get it all worked out. All right, thank you, Delta. Get plenty of rest, and we'll catch you again later. But I think Wednesday streams being consistent will probably have to just die. And the reason for that is I'm losing time actively. And also, I think it's going to be better so we can make more video content so I can plan more for streams rather than just kind of have to wing it every day because of, you know, whatever. And also so I can, you know, hop into my friends' streams and help them out with their stuff. It would be kind of like my recharge day, so to speak. I do have a question for you. King. Gonna send you a message if it's okay. Okay, dude. I'd love to answer any questions that you got. So monthly meetings for these other creators who would be a part of this Discord. It would be kind of, and they wouldn't be decision makers, so to speak. They would just be people that I can talk to help them out with stuff. Hey, Cool Cloud, how's it going? Good to see you, dude. Can we get some shoutouts for him? Was good. Hey, Dominator. Hello. How's it going, guys? What are you guys up to today? You guys haven't followed Cool Cloud before, press the button at the top of chat. Check out his next stream. He's pretty sweet. Pretty cool. Dead by Daylight. Nice. I'm here as usual. Well, it's always appreciated to see you pop in and say hello. We're working on some plans for my viewer joinable server. It's dawned on me that in about, you know, a little less than 3 months, I believe, this server will have turned 1 year old in this season, in this iteration, and I want to have like a huge, you know, to do about it. I really like that. I'm really hopeful for it. Let's see. Stretch and a hydrate. Alright, I'm all out of water. Let me get a little bit of a stretch here. I'm only 4 away from it too. 4 days away from your 12, or, sorry, 4 followers away from your, oh my, hello virus, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Can we get a shout out for JustCause_live? Yes, more than me. It's okay, it's not a competition. It's not a competition. I appreciate you guys. Regardless. 20 seconds? Okay. It'll be just a second on that shout out. But how was stream? Were you guys still playing Valorant? It's been a day. Oh boy, I bet. But I'm okay. I'm glad to hear it. We're just doing some planning on my viewer joinable server. Thank you so much for the bits. I appreciate it, Cool Cloud. Thank you. But we've been making some plans for it, and I think we've got a really sick idea for the 1 year celebration, hopefully. If you guys haven't followed sorry, wrong thing in my head. If you guys haven't followed JustCause_live, press the button at the top of chat, check him out. He's pretty sick. Ayo. I'm actually going to have a couple of things I might need to talk to some friends about regarding the updates if everything goes well. We'll see. Um, but you guys are playing Apex. Oh, I'm so sorry. Apex. Ooh. Ay, ay, ay. Nice. Lovely. No, Apex is actually great. It's just, it hurts my soul. It's a personal vendetta. Yeah, we develop Overwatch 2 and Apex. Ah, the triple threat. The triple threat indeed. It ain't the day for PvP. But yeah, we've been talking about just some things that we're looking at fixing and looking into making my life easier, but also the staff team's job easier, and then possibly also, doing a major relaunch with, you know, new community members and making it even larger, and you know, it's really big, and I've got to like set up a presentation for it, I think, because it's making me excited. Migraine causing major brain fog, but I'm still here. Well, I'm sorry that you're having a migraine still. Um, but thanks for sticking around. I appreciate it. Let's see. You guys gotta head out, both of you, Cool Cloud and Virus. You guys gotta head out. Don't worry about it. I get it. School's in session. Work, hunger, sleep. I get that. So if you guys gotta head out, get some lurks, and a-okay. But what we're looking at right now is I'm thinking about inviting other creators to be permanent members of King SMP and having their communities also come in. And so I was trying to think of things that I need to do in order for that to work. So in this case, having a media kit right there readily available, having monthly meetings with the creators to make sure we're getting proper feedback from them and helping them kind of think about their content plans regarding the server. Because I find that's like one thing that I've always had a hard time with on other SMPs is like I would join their SMPs and such, and then there would be no plans involved, and so inevitably, uh, it would just die out. So I think having a monthly meeting with people and just saying, hey, do you need help planning ideas here? And at the very least, we'll have a monthly event. Um, but also, I think having that those extra creators on there will overall be a boost to everybody. Um, Wait, Titanfalls are claiming my heart. I'm glad to hear that. I wish I could get back into Titanfall, but it doesn't sound super appealing at the moment, unfortunately. Let's see. I do think I'll go get some nom noms. Have a great stream, homie. Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it. Speaking of nom noms, I'm actually not gonna get food, but I do need to get some water. Somebody had a hydrate in there, and I haven't gotten it yet. If you're not a hardcore FPS player, it can be tough. I'm not amazing, but I'm okay sometimes. I get that. I'm not very good at FPS though. The time to kill is laughably quick. Very, 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 very. Ironically, Apex is really high. Yeah, it's interesting how that works, isn't it? Um, okay, I'm gonna be right back, guys. Sit tight. I might run an ad during the be right back screen, so you guys don't have to deal with that right in smack dab middle of my stream. Uh, and I'm gonna go get some water, and we're gonna continue planning. I might even grab something to snack on to kind of help me think while I'm planning. So in the meantime, I'll see you guys here in about 3 minutes, give or take. Okay, we're back. Here's your hydrate from earlier. Who did it? Was that Dominator? Yeah. Here's your hydrate. Spiky hamsters, hedgehogs. Welcome back. Thank you, thank you. Okay. So now that I'm here, trying to think of some things that we can add to the list, and I can't think of anything else for the creators right now yet. But well, I can't think of one thing. We need the roadmap. That's a necessity if we're gonna have creators. That way they can plan their content ahead, so they don't have to miss events and all that. Then there's gonna be if we do King SMP merch, that is going to go directly to the server funding. I don't know how I. There we go. Server funding. Probably just start with t-shirts for now. But eventually I'd like to expand into like 3D printed models of certain builds and structures that are iconic to the game or the server. Maybe hang on. Okay. I wonder. I don't know if there's a way to do it on the site that I use right now, but if there's a way to set up like a service almost where somebody could order a certain build that they want as a 3D model, as long as it was on King SMP, I think I'd be willing to 3D print those. If it's a very hyper specific build, then we can probably work something out there. Shipping costs, that's gonna be really the big problem. Shipping costs, you gotta factor that in. 3D printing something is cheap. Really, the most expensive part is if they want it painted, that's gonna take some time. Bro, you are close to 1K. I know, it's scary. Every time I think about it, I kind of get a little bit of an anxiety attack. It means 1,000 different people have seen my face and have said, I like what you're doing here. Maybe I'm thinking too deeply about it, but at least you can say that the connection is somewhat genuine, right? It's weird, though. It's so weird. I should go shout you out. Oh, gosh. Can't be doing that. I know we did that to Chara that one time, but we can't be doing that. Not again. I mean, I'm one of the 1,000. I know, and you are an actual person. And that's something wild to me is, like, for the longest time, it's taken me... I still don't think of some people in chat as people. Like, I know they're people instinctively, but also, like, it's surreal seeing somebody that you're used to knowing online in person. Unreal, for example, I met him during the summer, and it was very, very, very different. It was so different than what I'd ever expected to meet somebody from the internet. Like, that was my first time meeting somebody I met on the internet initially in real life, and that was really cool. And now, I mean, coming up in a couple of days, I'm gonna meet some of my other friends. It's wild. I mean, I'm one of the 1,000. Now I'm a cat who learned English and how to use a computer. As far as I know, you're the only cat that I have as a follower. So there's a whole line of firsts there. I think you're the first cat to learn how to use a computer, first cat to learn English, and the first cat to follow me. That's That's awesome. Let me think here. What are some other King SMP things that are like, oh yeah, this would be great merch? Well, obviously world downloads, but those are gonna be free. But it's I would say it's a form of merchandise. Maybe this is a way down the road kind of thing, but maybe we do USBs, like custom King SMP USBs, and maybe they come with like all the worlds pre-installed on them, but they're also like something that screams King SMP, I guess. But ultimately, all proceeds go uh, go to server funds. There we go. What are some other things? I guess stickers exist, but I feel like that's more. I don't know what you would do with King SMP in specific. Other than I guess you could do a couple of builds that we've got that were kind of popular. I don't know. I have to think about that one. That one might take a minute. I'll think more on the merch thing. That one's kind of like a big one that is a step in a direction that I don't know if we're ready for yet. Patreon. Um, One, you get the benefit of having several different tiers and offering different things with each tier. Um, so in this case, again, all proceeds go to funding the server. And then, of course, you're gonna have there's gonna have to be some perks there. I don't know what the perks are just yet, but I'll figure that out in a minute. Um, what are some other things that we should note about Patreon? I mean, you're gonna have if you have 3 different tiers, you're also gonna have 3 different tiers of perks. So maybe tier 1 gives you just the supporter, general run of the mill. It's $1, and it gives you certain access in Discord to a certain community lounge. And then, the tier up, maybe it gives you a special pet or access to pets early, certain pets early. Um, and then, an extra tier up than that gets you maybe. I don't know if priority queue is the right word for this, but no, not priority queue. I don't know where that came from. It's early, like maybe we make it so like the patrons would get to vote on things rather than other people on certain things, like for events and such. Maybe we're like, okay, we need to come up with more event ideas, and we're curious what you guys think. Maybe that's an extra tier up or something. I don't know. But we'll come up with good ideas for all of those at some point. Um, Roadmap, this is a 100% my job kind of scenario. King's job. Monthly, maybe. But also have a. Alright, we're back. I'm gonna go spam your Twitch and other people's chat. JK, that wasn't obvious. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that you're not going to. I didn't think you were, but I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Have a 12-month one every, or have a 12-month one readily available. Roadmaps are something I really want to do. It would help us so much. Move hosting to bisect. This is a thing that might have to happen, but I don't know yet. Wait, wait, wait and see about other solutions slash pricings as well, before proceeding. Okay. Where does that put us here? Let me double check that we just have everything here. I don't want to miss anything that we need to polish or any of that. Not that it matters that I get everything now, but the most I can get, at least, I want to get as much done as possible here. So we need to go into plugins. Quests, simple pets. Warps. I think our warps are fine, right? Let's just change this to features. That way I just have a list of ongoing things. So we already have warps and those are just fine. So that's already polished. There's nothing wrong with our warps. We do already have one anti-cheat, kind of, sort of. It's more of a mod tool than it is an anti-cheat, and that would be the X-ray plugin. And then I have a built-in anti-X-ray thing. It's more anti-X-ray texture pack than anything else, I think, but it does the vast majority of jobs. Yeah, no, I think that's everything. At least there. Oh, another thing. This is more builder project related, but spawn. It just needs filled. Needs filled out. Gosh, filled out. There we go. It needs. Does it need anything else? Probably a couple more uses, but I don't know. Um, hmm. Oh gosh, okay, if we do this the way I want it all to hopefully go out over, with inviting, people to be on the SMP and using it as their viewer joinable SMP, we're gonna have to expand the market stalls probably, and maybe find ways to make it more easily accessible to keep it like or not accessible, but easily words. I want it to be like easily recognizable. So when you walk up to somebody's stand or you're trying to find a specific stand, you can find it quickly. So maybe we make it so it's not just you get the stall and everything inside of the stall, but you get the stall and maybe a couple blocks outside of it to decorate with, barrels, or if you're doing an armor stand, or you've got armor and you're trying to sell off your armor, you have armor stands out front, and you have like a little bit of a lawn to decorate a little, just a tiny. That might help if we have to make more room. That might not be a problem. Ideally, we would like people to, be willing to get shops in the shopping district, but at the same time, that might not be super possible. It's just all about the quality of people you can get on the server. That's another thing. I want to find a way to encourage more building. I feel like we don't have enough of that just yet. At some point we will, at some point, but we're not quite there yet. Hmm. Let me think. Um, yeah, no, I can't think of any other, like, ways to encourage more building besides just doing more building. Which maybe that would require. Okay, I've got an idea. So, because I'm going to be inviting more creators to build and be a part of our thing, maybe we try to seek out, specifically, try to invite certain creators that we know do build a decent amount and would like to be a part of a viewer joinable server so their viewers could also join, and hopefully they'll be interested in building too. I don't know if builders like to watch builders or not. It's kind of hard to attract that kind of stuff, but I don't know. I want the server to start taking off soon, I guess. Hmm. Okay. I think let's just go over everything really fast to make sure we're all good. So DDoS. How would I go about fixing a DDoS? So we could either permanent whitelist, swap server hosts and see if that fixes it, or get better DDoS protection. This is basically in order of willingness. This one's a 1. Uh, this one's a 2. And then this one's a 3. uh, I love how you organize your thoughts on this list. Well, I love how you organize. I don't know. I try to. I really do. Okay, this is not working. Let's set it up the other way. It's going to be in descending order, like it should be anyway. Better DDoS protection, okay? And then swap host would be in here. Okay. There we go. But yeah, I try to be somewhat organized. I just really do suck at it. That's better. Okay. And then for toxic trolls, I think the ideal solution here. This is great. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think the ideal solution here is that, and then do one of those, and then that. Okay. Ideally, we don't have a permanent whitelist if we don't have to, just to keep the work off the people. Like, obviously, I want more mods, but I don't want to have to rush into that yet. So if our toxic troll situation persists, we kind of have an order to go by. If we can have more mods, honestly, that's kind of the better solution now I think about it. Okay, there we go. Community issue fixing. These are both things that are just gonna have to happen. Um, So we're just gonna have to leave those alone. Larger community. So the biggest of these things would be, yeah. Promise I wasn't trying to be sarcastic. Actually, like I organize it by category. Several different solutions and listing in order which you prefer the solution over the others. I'm kind of used to just writing business plans. I kind of used to do that kind of, sort of, for fun. Um, I've always kind of had like a sort of businessy mindset. Um, so I feel like I just tend to like over engineer some of it a little bit, but it's definitely nice to kind of keep organized if I can. Okay. Sorry, got distracted through Rubik's Cube again. Larger community. So this would be in B in or oh, thank you for the hydrate and the candy, Infinite. I don't know if you saw that, but I just like spilled a ton of water on myself. I don't know what you guys are gonna do with me. Put on the OnlyFans. No. Oh gosh. Okay. Gotta stay energized. You're right. You're right. What matters if it works best for your brain's way to process. Everyone is different. I actually am neurodivergent. So my brain works differently than neurotypical people. So that list actually works well with my brain's processing. Really? I find like I just like to be organized. I don't know why it works so well for me. Like I can keep disorganized papers and such. I mean, let me see if I can show you one of my documents. It's gross. It's so gross. Here's your candy, by the way, Infinite. Mm, packet of sugar. Yeah, it's that was a packet, all right. Wow. Can I have that back? Thank you. Okay. Let me see if I can show you this window instead. This is so completely and totally disorganized, and I feel so horrible about it. This is my plan for my 24-hour stream so far. Just some games I can play, some donation goals, some special stuff in preparation that I have yet to take care of. So incredibly, like, not taken care of yet. I need to go through and fix it. I might do that tomorrow, or the day after, or the day after that. I'll get around to it eventually. But back to the planning. That sweetness, that speed, sugar rush W. um, Fun fact: a little sugar wakes up the brain and helps the thinking patterns. It's why some schools encourage snacks before large tests. Really, I like that. One thing is for sure, you aren't gonna be able to say you're gonna be able to say what you don't that you don't know what to do. That is very true. I'm gonna have plenty of plans available, and hopefully plenty of goals to kind of keep myself moving. It's gonna be a good time, probably. Let's see. That's why I like having me chalky milk when I'm working on school/work stuff. I tend to like snack obsessively a little bit. Um, it's kind of funny. Um, there's been times where I've opened up a packet of sugar on my own and just downed it. I also have with me right now. Uh, it's a peanut butter wafer bar. Sounds completely and totally like unappealing, but that's what it's called because it's the store brand. I think they're called Nutty Buddies. Um, when they're the name brand ones, very good, very very good stuff. Um, I love them. I love them. I like peanut butter, so like that's that's the best. It's the best case scenario for me. Chalky milk. I was talking to my brother the other night. This was before we started talking about server stuff. He was uh, he was asking. He was talking about like how he wanted to start cooking and stuff, and I was like, well, it's good to start learning how to cook and all that because eventually you're gonna get to my age and you're gonna want something sweet and you don't know how to make anything. And then I started talking about the story that I did. I was so desperate. I kind of wanted like a milkshake or something. Well, we don't have milkshakes in the house, and I wasn't about to just try to make a milkshake right then and there, because we didn't have all the supplies for it. Um, but what I did have was two ingredients that I was like, I like these two things a lot: peanut butter and milk. Like hypothetically, I could make peanut butter flavored milk, and it would be pretty awesome. I've had it once before in like a pre-mixed container, and I liked it. And so I was like, can I make my own? I tried to make this peanut butter milk, and it kept separating. And I realized it was probably because of the inconsistency between the milk and the peanut butter. They weren't the same thickness. They kept separating, so it just ended up being like a layer of peanut butter at the bottom, a couple of peanut butter flakes floating on the top, and then the milk just all across the middle. It was okay on the top layers, and then you just had to keep stirring it every now and then. Peanut butter won't dissolve in milk. Yeah, it definitely did not. Um, if I'm not mistaken, it would help to mix in a bit of whipped up egg whites. Definitely. It would have also helped had I decided to warm up the milk a little bit. Um, the difference in temperature really didn't help the peanut butter too much either, because I turned the peanut butter basically into a syrup by microwaving it, because I was like, that's the easiest way to get it into a liquid. Is what I was thinking. The problem was it it didn't work out too well. Definitely needed to be a little bit warm at least. Yeah, it was fine. It worked out. I mean, I learned my lesson since then. Just stay out of the kitchen. Um, but it tasted okay. It was all right. I'm gonna learn how to cook one day. That was one of the things on the donation goal list. Possibly was a cooking stream. I might even move that away from the donation goal and actually have that as a segment of the stream. I don't know. I kind of just want to do it. Um, I might save that for a special stream for, maybe 2,000 followers or something. I don't know. I'm so sorry. That was probably loud. I'm going to keep my hands to myself now. Well, if you melt the peanut butter, I love melted peanut butter. I'm a desperate person, okay? Before anybody makes fun of me, I'm a desperate person. Sometimes, what I'll do is I'll take, my peanut butter and I'll put it in a bowl. Like a small bowl, something like that you'd give a toddler with some Cheerios in or whatever and call it a day. Very small bowl. Stick some peanut butter in there and put it in the microwave and then just, melt that down for a little bit. And then just kind of, like, eat it by the spoonful. Like, don't get me wrong, I like it when it's just, the solid form, but something about liquid peanut butter is just, it's very good. It's very, very good. Definitely need to be a little bit warm. If you get some vanilla ice cream, just mix vanilla ice cream, a little bit of milk, and an equal amount of peanut butter in a blender. Turn it on for a few seconds, and then boom, peanut butter milkshake. True. I might need to ask my mom to start keeping ice cream in the house. I we don't typically have ice cream anymore, and it sucks. But the truth is, we don't have space anymore. We used to, well, okay, we could have space. When we moved, they kind of replaced the fridge here, and they did a great job on the house in general, and I appreciate the new fridge and all that. But the fridge is, the half freezer, half fridge combo. I'm used to having, the stacked fridge where it's the freezer on the top and then the fridge on the bottom. It's much more conducive to most lifestyles, I find. We have no room in our freezer hardly ever. Now, we do have 2 more freezers outside that we can go to and all that, but I'm only ever really awake and wanting a snack like that when it's really late and everybody's asleep, and sneaking out of my house isn't exactly a good option. I live in the middle of nowhere. We have coyotes, we have deer, we have rabbits. I mean, they're not killer, but they exist. Gotta go for the night. Good luck. All right, sounds good, Unreal. I hope you have a good rest of your night. So I probably won't ever get ice cream. Mini freezer. We get a mini freezer for my bedroom to keep stocked up with ice cream. You never re-enabled Blurp? Yeah, it's still broken. I need to probably just contact their support and see if they can fix it. It's probably something on my account that's bugged, but I don't know. The Xbox mini fridge? Yo. It'd be great. It would be so great. That'd be great. Melted peanut butter snack sounds so good, you genius. Legit, I have to go melt my own peanut butter soon. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. It's very good. I've gotten desperate a couple of times, and that's something I've turned to just in need of something. It's kind of like my comfort food, anything peanut butter related. So on like a night where like if I'm having a panic attack, and I need something to help calm me down, I'll turn on. There's one specific song that I turn on. Let's see if you guys can hear this. I turn on this song. Well, you know what? We're gonna risk it. We're gonna risk it for the biscuit. Let's see what happens. I turn on this song. It's a Taylor Swift song, and it for some reason it's calming. I find it very calming, and I'll find something peanut butter, and I'll just sit back, listen to the song, eat my peanut butter in peace, and everything is just fine. Everything just kind of fixes itself. I can't explain it. It works. I don't want to get copyright, so we're gonna turn that off because that was fair use. Fair use. Peanut butter at the beach is immaculate. I don't think I've ever had peanut butter at the beach, but that sounds like a dream come true. I don't know if you guys have ever had peanut butter flavored ice cream, but that's my jam right there. Take peanut butter ice cream, coffee ice cream, mix those two together. It's some good stuff. I like coffee too, so that's one other thing I've been a little bit desperate with. I've tried to mix peanut butter in with my coffee. That works a little bit better, but it doesn't work a ton. Have you had Reese's cake? I may have, but I don't recall. I've definitely had Reese's cookies. Those are really good. Um, I've had. I don't think I've had Reese's cake now that I think about it. That sounds like something right up my alley. My parents would probably love to get me that for my birthday next year. I might have to make a special request, you know? That's something we could do for the cooking stream. We make some different peanut butter type of treats. And so, I mean, you know, we'll make a peanut butter based dinner with a peanut butter based dessert and maybe even a peanut butter based side and kind of make it like what is it? Is it chopped or no? I mean, it would be like chopped in the sense of my mystery basket ingredient would just be peanut butter the entire time. I could tolerate that. I don't know what you would do with a peanut butter based dinner and side, but I'd find a way to make it work. Reese's Pieces are one of my favorite. They go off, dude. They're so good. They're so good. How many families of innocent peanuts have to be sacrificed for this cause? All of them. Every single one. Every single last peanut must be sacrificed. Gosh. Wait. Hang on. Um. Oh. Okay. I just realized something. Tomorrow, right? Gosh. There's a fat chance we could hit 1,000 followers tomorrow. Because it's gonna be a King SMP day, and those days already bring in at least 2 or 3 followers per day. And what I've always noticed is as you get closer to the goal, people start inviting more of their friends, and people start actually when they pop in, they see that you're close, and then they get more invested. Oh gosh, how many? Look up Miss Freshly's Reese's cupcakes. Those are the bomb. Let's see it. Wow, that looks great. That looks fantastic. Also, don't worry. It's I. This isn't my location. Those aren't my locations. So don't try to find me. Okay, you're good luck. Very good luck. This was back when I was traveling. I was trying to. We were walking around Walmart, and so I had to put in that as my location to find a certain item. I know you aren't in Mexico. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. Yeah, I couldn't find my way around the Walmart, so I had to pull open my app and kind of take a look around, and that's why it still says that King lives in Mexico City. Oh, 100%, definitely. I definitely look like I live in Mexico or could live in Mexico. I would never be able to pass. I don't go out in the sun enough. I'm realizing this now. I actually have a decent amount of tan to me still. Like, I still have a tan line on my where my watch is. He's Mexican. He's just always inside King Lord. Oh gosh. You know, I can accept this. This is acceptable terms. Oh gosh. Let me try to think. I need to probably plan more, don't I? What if we make one of our roadmaps? Well, we can't do that until I have Unreal. Because I need Unreal to help me with it. Because he's kind of the big planner. Well, he's not a planner, he's a doer, and I need my doer in order for me to be the planner. Sure. I guess I can finish sorting out some of this stuff. After that, I don't know what's next. I guess I could probably end stream after all of that, but or keep talking. Can keep talking, and then maybe we could play either a little bit of Minecraft or I might play a little bit of guitar or I'll figure out something. I'll figure out something. Looks amazing. Go through King's liked TikToks. Oh gosh. Ha ha ha. Gosh. Yeah, let's do that. What could go wrong? My liked TikToks are definitely concerning. I'm not ashamed to admit that. Sometimes I just find comfort in 9/11 humor. Hundreds of villagers burning in the nether. You know, I should make that a TikTok and just see what happens. Just no context, villagers burning. That'd be great. 11 p.m. and my neighbors are yelling, woohoo! I'm annoyed. Gosh. You live in The Sims, I'm convinced. Think here. We're all living in The Sims. Just one shot of the villagers absolutely being slaughtered, then it cuts to catch me on Twitch. No, that actually sounds for some reason like it might do well. Like, commit some heinous crime and then go, alright guys, you'll catch me on live on Twitch right now. That sounds actually kind of beautiful. I might try that. I might try that. And if it works, I'll make sure a lot of credit goes your way, sir. 100% go for it. Oh gosh. Let's see. Yeah, my phone's buzzing like crazy. Oh, did you guys see the did you guys have the EAS emergency alert system test come through today? I'm assuming most of us did. I think most of us are US citizens here. Um it woke you up. It woke me up too. It was right under my pillow and my ear was right over where my phone was. I sleep on top of my phone in case there's an emergency. I forgot after being reminded several times that they were going to test the emergency system. So I had that play right into my ear, and oh, I was trying to scramble to turn it off. I couldn't figure it out, and then after I swiped away the notification and cleared it, it still kept playing, and I was confused. So then I went to go find my mom and my brother to see if they were having it happen to them too. They weren't home. So I'm home alone trying to turn off this dang phone because it's being noisy and I'm grumpy. and I'm trying to find somebody in the house to see if it's happening to them. And then they come in and they're like, "Oh, yours is going off." I'm like, "Yep." And they're like, "Ours just went off in the car." I was like, "Ah, nice." It might have woke me up. I mean, admittedly, I shouldn't have been asleep at that point, but at the same time, I was up really late. So yeah, mine came through at 2:18 in the afternoon. So I should have been awake, admittedly. Hey Kirby, wanna join me and Flames and Public VC after this? We need friends. I might be able to. I might not. I have a couple of videos I need to really get done. So you guys have some content available while I'm gone in a couple of days. But if I can get some of that stuff done, I might be able to hop in. Let's see, it woke me up. My phone was by my ear too. I do the same and sleep right by my phone in case of an emergency. Ouch, my ears. Yeah. Amen. Amen. I was looking at my phone and it still jump scared me. Anyone here ever have a phone that wasn't a smartphone? Me. I used to have a flip phone for a little bit. I think I saw a TikTok of someone who works at T-Mobile. They had to turn it off of every single phone in the store. Oh, jeez. Yikes. I gotta go make banners. All right, sounds good, Kirby. Sounds good. I hope you have a good time with that. Yikes. That sounds horrible. Let's see. Just gonna quickly set this up for success. One. I can do this. I promise. There we go. And then two. There we go. So basically, every single phone in the U.S. had it happen some twice. Mine did it twice, English and Spanish. Imagine all those phone stores. Gosh. Yikes. Those old ones, if you remember, vibrate aggressively. So if you worked, they were perfect under the pillow for alarms to vibrate. Shook the whole pillow and was loud enough to be an alarm. Yes. Those were great. Um, that's what I was trying to do with this. This is the iPhone 12 mini. Great phone, except one, I've heard that it has excessive radiation if you're in France, and that you're not supposed that like you might be able to get a refund on that. Um, so that's great. Um, but also it doesn't buzz, and I've learned that it's only the minis, really, um, that are doing this because my brother-in-law has the Max. He can have his phone all the way across the solid wood table, and it buzzes, and I can feel it. But this little thing buzzes, I can't even feel it in my own pocket. Join me, homie. Revive the home button. iPhone SE. If this one ever goes out, or if the US says that it's gonna be recalled, then I will probably go for an SE. Mostly because I think that's the only one I can really afford. I like the mini because it's small. I think the SE is also still small, right? Um, I can't do the large phones, and I have huge hands. Like my hands are pretty large, but like it feels better in my hand like this than the big ones where I have to like spread my hands out super far. I don't know how people like the flip phone, the Galaxy Folds or whatever they're called. SE ain't bad at all. Only big downside is not into end screen and cam not as good as. Yeah, that's fair. And I mean, I don't really use my phone for a whole lot. Oh wait, you guys want to hear some tax evasion strats with me? So there's this thing that you can do for business expenses. My next phone is going to be a business expense because I need it for work. It's That's going to be the biggest tax write-off I've ever had ever. My Oculus, that one nearly took care of all of my taxes last year, making it almost a zero. And then I added a couple of Steam games on top of it, and I didn't have to pay anything in taxes. This year, it's gonna be close. I might have to get a upgrade for my computer or something to not have to pay anything to the government. Now, I'm in no way a tax expert, so please don't take my advice for literal. Always consult an expert. But that's how I got away with paying no taxes last year and the year before that. Business expenses, man. I pay basically zero every year. And admittedly it's because I'm losing more than what I'm gaining. Um I more often than not I am actively losing money, which I'm okay with. Whatever, right? Screw the economy. No, but I'm pretty well just cool with giving this a shot up until the end of next year. Then I'll probably actually find something to do. Forgot to do my taxes last year. Gonna have to do double this year, but I think they owe me money anyway. Well, we'll find out, right? This is the TikTok. I found it again. Found the TikTok. Go ahead and DM it to me on Discord. My Twitch chat blocks the links. One way or another. Technically, I feel like the government owes us all after the last couple of years of living. I feel like we're all owed something here. Alright, let's see this. Why? There we go.
Even on the flip phone? Oh god.
Hello there.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for the follow, Shader. I appreciate it. Oh my.
Okay, now.
I would never. I should have gone to Walmart and seen what their selection was gonna be like.
Thank you. Just clicking OK on them.
That is awesome. That's horrible, but that's awesome. Imagine the warehouses. Oh, it's even tablets and smartwatches. I actually didn't feel it on my watch, but that's probably because I guess it was connected to my phone, so it just cleared out. So that's probably why I guess I didn't feel it. Did it ever come through my watch? Yeah, no, it never did. Okay. Interesting. But yeah, imagine the warehouses. That would suck. Infinite. That's amazing. That's actually a very good phrasing of it too. Okay. What was I up to? You know what? I'm gonna do another packet of sugar. I'm not addicted. You guys are addicted. The way the sugar kind of just dissolves, I don't even swallow it. It just dissolves into my saliva, I guess. But it's kind of satisfying. I'm not gonna lie. I'm saving my points for a diamond. Oh, oh boy. I'm curious. That's for sure. Let's see. One. Or I guess this is about. Hang on. We're gonna finish this up. I keep getting distracted. So for a larger community, the big things I want to do. We need to fix our DDoS issue, I think. There we go. Then you've got. I'm just gonna go ahead and number them all now, so it's easier. 5, and then 6, and then 7. Okay, so biggest issues we've got right now. If we can fix the DDoSing and the bad behavior, then we can bring in more creators. Which then it becomes about hosting more special events. I'll be lurking. Thank you for lurking. I appreciate it. If no sword, I'll go for the diamond. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's a fair response. I can respect that as somebody who's done both. I went for the diamond while having the sword, even. Just for a mere flex of saying I'm better. I've been lurking longer. I don't just lurk, I guess. I do also watch a fair amount. Let's see. How much have I watched? You ready for this? You ready for this? I am about to reveal how little of a life I have. How much have I watched Alias? How much watch time do I have? Admittedly, it could be a whole lot more. But I'm curious. I've spent 27 days and 8 hours of watch time watching Alias. Now, to give you an idea of just how much that is, 27 times 24 plus 8, that's 656 hours. And I've known her for 2 years. So I've been watching her for 2 years, but that was off and on to like between me streaming and me watching her. If I wasn't streaming, I would have thousands of hours watching, probably. I became a. I think I became a VIP. And then I started saving up for VIP again just to flex that I could buy it twice. Then I became a mod. Then I bought VIP again after that. Just for the fun of it. I don't have a life and I don't regret that. I don't think Delta has a watch time command. It's a nice little thing to get. I've it's one of my favorite things to do. You know what? That's what I'll do here. Oh boy. Let me actually see now. I'm curious. How many hours have I streamed? We need an overview from August 2nd, 2021 all the way till October 2023. I have streamed over the course of 794 days. I have streamed 2,507 hours and 33 minutes. 2,507 hours. Divide that by 24. That's 104 days worth. There's 104 days of time that I've spent streaming. Oh my. Oh, wow. Oh. 28.83 hours. You've been here for one of those 104 days. It's 104 days of summer vacation, and then school comes along just to end it. This has been my summer vacation, basically. I need to fix Stream Elements. It's a little bit broken, and so it keeps telling people, you've watched 0 seconds. So I need to probably go in there and tell it, hey, shut up. Stop telling people wrong. But Streamlabs, he's got your back. He's fine. He's a dandy little guy. Okay. Fix DDoS, remove bad behavior and trolls, bring in more creators. After we bring in more creators, more special events. If we can bring in more special events, that'll attract more creators and therefore more people. With more people, I feel like unique features would be good so that we can start getting those people to invite their friends. With those unique features, though, and those new people coming in that aren't watching our streams, we're going to need an anti-cheat to prevent them from bringing in more bad behavior and bad trolls. And then monthly event leaderboards. Monthly event leaderboards really should be higher up, but I'm just going to leave it at the bottom. It's really not that big of a deal. Yeah, I don't know how to get it on deltas. I've been there for a bit now. I don't want it to be inaccurate. That's fair. That's fair. I don't know if there's a way to check it or not. I'm sure there is, but I have no idea. I wish Twitch would have like a built-in stat to tell you how many channel points you've earned over your time watching somebody as well. Just did it. He doesn't have. I see. I see. Well, maybe he'll add it at some point. It's a nice little handy command. I like that one, and then I also like the follow command. I also like this one. Bruh. Let me think here. For the new server stuff, the biggest one is we need a new logo and then a new icon. And then we need a new banner. And then a new trailer. After that, I think a new team to cover the branding. A new brand team, so to speak, comes out. And then, okay, there we go. Do we want merch next? No, more moderators is also important. Where would that fall in line with? Probably before the brand new team, but maybe before it. I don't know. We'll put it there. Oh, wait, it's not the same thing. Hang on. Okay. Merch is its own thing as well. Okay. Okay. So that would be plugins. That'd be right here. And how do you do heading to? Control Alt 2. Okay. There we go. So plugins, that's going to include things like item tag. That's going to include things like anti-cheat. And then we can remove those. And then I'm going to move the monthly event leaderboards over to plugins. I think that's also a plugin. Then we have merchandise, which is going to fall under just MISC, right? I think that's fine. 1, and then 2. There we go. Okay. The polishing is going to happen just all around the same time, so I'm not going to number those. Things that are polished is fine. So the biggest of priorities here is probably going to be roadmap, inviting other creators, King SMP merch, Patreon, and then moving to a new host. Okay. Let's do Control C on that one. Okay, so it's like that. Sure. And this one. Okay. There we go. That. Okay, 3, 4. What did it do? Okay, that was weird. Four, and there's 5 here, which, there we go. Okay, so I kind of have a little bit of an idea of what we're doing here. I'm gonna snooze those ads because I think we're good for the night. So to kind of cover what we've talked about today with everybody just once more, we kind of talked about what our main features are on King SMP, which is a whole lot of, smaller things, not super huge, but generally great stuff. Then we've talked about some things that need to be added, such as DDoS, toxic trolls being removed, community issue fixes, larger community things we want, official server branding, plugins, miscellaneous. We kind of added all that in terms of priority as well. We've added some things that we need to kind of take a closer look at and kind of get more completed. And we've looked at what we've already done. And we've talked about a possible plan for the brand new launch to the server, the relaunch for the server, the comeback, if you will. I think that's all great stuff. But at some point, you got to end stream, right? So that's what we'll do tonight here. But we're going to raid somebody, definitely. Sorry, I was working on mod related. No longer distracted. Nice working. Thank you so much. Also, no worries. I get distracted all the time. So I get it. Let's go ahead and see. Let's see. Who is live at the moment? Let's go say hello to Chara. She's live right now playing Minecraft Hardcore. And she's on day 470 plus, which is insane. Absolutely insane. I really respect people that can play hardcore and do that kind of stuff. It's crazy. You did some good work tonight. Hoping all works out. Thanks for the stream. Well, thank you for watching and tolerating it all, CC. I appreciate it. And I hope to catch you again later. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, though. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Thank you. You too. Let's see. We're gonna raid Chara. Have a good night. Thank you, Flames. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. All right, hop in the raid. You guys will get some free channel points, and you'll get to meet a cool streamer if you haven't met Chara before. She's playing some hardcore mode, and it looks like she's messing around with lily pads right now, so I'm sure it's going to be interesting. I'll catch you guys later, and you know what? We're going to use the King SMP ending screen for tonight. Good night, guys.